A massive thank you to House, Matt, Owen, Massey and Stavros for subscribing to the channel. If you want to be featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 4 of season... Round 4, that one, Matt, of Season 7 of the F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. Yes, it's been a little bit of a while. It's been a week, actually, since the last episode of this series. Of course, I've been very, very busy. Obviously, at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix last weekend, I had a fantastic time. But, you know, we're back home now, back in the sim rig. So, fingers crossed, you know, sort of more F1 2021 content is going to be heading your way. Of course, we have the big F1 2022 news reveal as well. So, we're going to be pretty busy on the run-up to July, of course, when the new game comes out. But, of course, this is going to be a hub for everything F1 2022 related as well. A massive thank you to all of you guys who've now smashed through 44,000 subscribers. Can we hit 50k before F1 2022 releases? That is now the big goal. So, you know, if you're not already, please do leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well. You know, leaving a like massively helps sort of push the video out to more people. That's why, of course, I do ask it on every single one of these videos. But yeah, 3 races down already in season 7, sorry, of this career mode. Things have been rather interesting so far. To be honest, I kind of need a bit of a refresh myself. So if you missed out on the last race from Imola, I would highly, highly recommend going back and checking it out. But championship-wise then, we are on top at the moment, 11 points clear of George Russell there. Charles Leclerc under P3 for Ferrari, ahead of Perez and Max Verstappen there. And then we've got both Mercedes in 6th and 7th there, with Ferrari in 8th. So, sorry, Carlos Sainz even, I should say, in 8th for Ferrari. Constructors-wise, though, Red Bull just 10 points back as we head into round 4 of the year. So, clearly a lot of stuff. I think I'm slowly, it's all coming back to me as we get into this one. But yeah, Red Bull look very, very fast still at the moment. We can see sort of performance-wise, they've got a little bit of a margin over us and Mercedes there. And then Ferrari are, yeah, indistinguishably just behind us as well there. But yeah, round 4 of the year takes us back to Portimao. One of the last times, unfortunately, we'll ever see Portimao, by the looks of it, on the F1 game as well. So, let's head back to Portugal. I love this track. Let's hopefully have a good weekend of it. Formula 1 is finally back in 2022, and now you can rep your favourite teams. Of course, using the F1 store, every team now has merch lineups available, whether you're an Aston Martin fan, a Williams fan, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull. The choice is completely up to you. But yeah, check out the F1 merch store down below for all the official releases from all of the teams. And of course, as always, if you use our links as well, you massively help support the channel. So yeah, give it a look and see if there's anything you like. Yeah, I think we're definitely going to have a very, very busy run-up to F1 2022. Of course, we've still got the final season of the Williams Road to Glory yet to start there. We've still got a couple more races of Season 2. And then, of course, yeah, F1 Manager as well. We don't quite know when that's going to release. And, of course, we've still got the longest season I've done on F1 My Team. Okay. Wasn't expecting to see the back end get that loose that quickly. We're going to be in for a long session, I feel. Right, but it's around the final corner then. Second attempt here. Safe to say I'm a little bit rusty on F1 2021. That is going to be the purple score, though. Well, nearly 200,000 R&D points at this stage of the game. So, I'm really intrigued whether we're going to be able to hit 200k by the end of the year. Right, here we are then, qualifying back in Portimao. I forget just how much I love this track. It's everything I like. Yeah, what makes a good Formula 1 circuit. You know, high speed, lots of elevation change, a bit unpredictable as well there. It's just everything you could ever want. And I think a lot of people forget just how good the first couple of laps of this race were back in 2020. You know, it doesn't quite work with the old Formula 1 cars, you know, last year. But I think, you know, the 2022 regs could have worked really, really well around this circuit. But yeah, gonna go out for my first lap though in Q2. Oh, I kept my foot in, but big oversteer moment on the exit there. Definitely didn't gain any time from that. We are, however, on mediums though, so not the best set of tyres to be using. Probably only going to be, you know, a high 14, I think, if we really get the lap hooked up. But yeah, we need to be aiming for sort of mid to high 13s. Is going to be a run that might see us into Q3. There we go, Yuki Tsunoda sets a 1:13.4 to go to the top of the timings. Just got to be super smooth out of that final corner with the steering, so easy to upset the rear. We only set a 14.7 though, so about where I expected to be. Slower than Stroll, though, who was also on a set of mediums, but only by a couple of tenths. Right, final lap then here from Q2, and we need to find about another 1.1, 1.2 seconds if we want to be making it through into Q3. Of course, aren't going to be on a fresher, softer set of tyres, but this is going to have to be one of my laps of the season, I feel. The AI is super, super strong around this track. Back down towards turn 1. Oh, really tipped it in there, but didn't get the best run through the first corner. Straighten it up, though, in your heading towards the hairpin. Of course, up here we should gain a little bit of time there as George Russell now sets a 13.3 there. Left a little bit on the table, I think, as we went through that corner, and then slamming on the anchors at the 100-metre board. So easy just to let the back end try and step out through the hairpin there. You can really cost yourself a lot of time. Pretty much flat though. Oh no, definitely not flat that time round through there, as that actually puts us out towards the gravel on the exit, so we don't really gain any time there. It's not a lap so far to be proud of. As we head up towards the top of the hill, times are still improving. What am I meant to do? Just overstep the rear on the exit there, and a bit like we saw at Imola this weekend, a lot of cars making mistakes there. That apparently, we exceeded track limits there. According to that, yeah, we must have gained something, according to Codemasters, but P16 then for the second time this year at the end of a qualifying session, just like we had back in Bahrain. That is not how we wanted to end qualifying here, as now... Oh, I'm so sorry. Who have I just murdered? What are they doing? I don't know who we've murdered. I've taken George Russell out. Oh, dearie me. We're going to be starting at the back here from Portimao. I may as well put a whole fresh engine in the car then, if we're going to be starting on the back row anyway. What are you doing? Please, just get around me. Oh, we've got a 5-place penalty for crashing into Schumacher as well. This has not been the return to this series I'd hoped for. So we're going to be starting at the back anyway. Let's put a fresh engine in the back of the car then and try and get some points out of it. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
Welcome along then to Portimao, one of the busiest towns in the Algarve and a breathtaking destination that brings tourists from all around the world to the shores of southern Portugal. Today it's the backdrop for the latest round of the Formula 1 World Championship, and with a circuit this wide, we could be in for a lot of exciting wheel-to-wheel action today. A lap of Portimao is 2.9 miles long, and it's made up of 15 turns, 9 right-handers and 6 left-handers. It's been described as a roller coaster with a lot of elevation changes. There's more than one blind summit, and the conditions today aren't going to make visibility any better. So drivers are going to have to be on the ball if we're to avoid a safety car here today. It's not going to be plain sailing for our drivers today, although with the sky falling as it is, perhaps sailing isn't too far from the truth. Anthony Davidson, could be a wet one today. Great to have you with us. What are your thoughts?
It is a touch damp, isn't it? Well, as a driver, there are 3 big things to worry about when racing in these kind of conditions: standing water, tyre temperature and visibility. Judging distance to the cars around you is really tricky when you're driving through the vast amounts of spray that these wet weather Pirelli tyres kick up.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. George Russell will begin today's event from pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Stroll, Perez, Charles Leclerc and Tsunoda, Giovinazzi, Joe, Ricciardo and Valtteri Bottas, Sainz, Ocon, Lando Norris, and Aitken. Ireland, Mazepin, Robert Schwartzman, and Christian Lundgaard. Latifi, Mick Schumacher, they've taken a grid penalty. Giotto and Mr. Monaco. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Right, well, here we are then on the grid, ready for round 4 of the year here from Portimao. Really looking forward to jumping into this one. And we're going to see some changeable conditions as well, so that could certainly add a bit of spice to the proceedings today. Could give us a big opportunity to jump our way forward up the field as well there. But starting on the full wet tyres, we don't get that too often on F1 2021 as well. But yeah, track meant to clear up pretty late on in the afternoon, but we should see the swap to inters, and then it'll be a case of trying to guess which dry tyres to go on to as well. But yeah, starting from the back though, let me know down in the comments below where you think we'll finish in this race today. But I just want to dive right into it then. Here from Portimao, 5 red lights. And it's going to be a very long hole, but it is finally lights out, and away we go. Going to try and avoid the puddles off the start. Of course, we can't lose places as we head down towards turn 1, but we can certainly try and do a bit better than that. As Mick Schumacher immediately there almost drops it as we head in towards... Yeah, Mick Schumacher was not going to give me room there. Well, what is going on? Down, I can't even see anything. There's so much spray around the circuit. Mick Schumacher's definitely now crashed into someone. I think he must have gone into the back of Lundgaard as we head up the hill. Going to try and do the old up and under there, and you can see, yeah, Mick Schumacher already missing half of his front wing there, so not the start he needed. We're going to send it down the inside, though, of a handful of cars. So we head down in towards the hairpin. Oh, a little bit of contact there with Callum Ilott, but we get away with it. Nicholas Latifi trying to hook it up around the outside. Should be able to get ahead of him as we head up the hill there, trying to muscle our way through. But Latifi having none of it as we get towards the top of the... Well, around the next corner. Should be able to have a look back around the outside again. Wheel to wheel with Nicholas Latifi on this opening lap. Something no Formula 1 driver, based on his 2022 track record, wants to be in a position with. And look at this from Latifi, trying to come back at me around the outside. We'll slam the door there. And Giotto will even sneak his way back through. So we are up into P19 then on this opening lap. But a huge amount of standing water on the circuit. We need to try and get our head down and try to focus there, as it looks like Verstappen has taken the lead then on this opening lap over George Russell there. So the former Red Bull driver overtakes the current Red Bull driver by the end of lap 1 as we try and get a nice run here on Callum Ilott. But perfect for our teammate Verstappen, who hasn't had the best start to the year for 2-2 Motorsport here. But can we have a look up the inside of Callum Ilott back towards turn 1? The answer there is no, but we might be able to get a tidy run through the first couple of turns. Up the inside we'll go, switch back on him. Oh, I'd really try and get the front end slowed down and turned in at the same time. But I'm into 18th we go. Oh. Lundgaard? Are you good, mate? Accidentally went round the outside of Lundgaard there. You can tell it was an accident because I wasn't commentating before it happened. Up into 17th then, as Jeff's just pointed out. Yeah, no idea. Lundgaard, I think, felt like having a nap on the apex. Come on, straight line, please. Right, come on then, Robert Schwartzman, as we head back down towards turn 1. Are we going to have to look to the inside? No, we are not. So Schwartzman hangs on. Oh, again, though, can we do what we did to Ilott a lap ago? Have a look up the inside. Again, trying not to lock at the fronts. Force the other car out wide. Robust moves, but you kind of have to do those sorts of overtakes, especially when there's this many puddles around the circuit as well. You know, you don't want to snag a break.
The circuit's definitely looking better than it was a few minutes ago. If we could just move a bit more of that standing water, we might be able to get onto the intermediates.
So Jeff there thinking exactly what I'm thinking. Don't think we're a million miles away from the intermediate tyres. Of course, the bigger question is, when is it going to be ready to transfer to dries?
0.5 per lap.
But we are taking good time out of Jack Aitken as well. Oh, big snap there as we sent it through turn 1. Of course, yeah, not really worried about trying to preserve these tyres too much. Not only do the wets last forever, we aren't going to need to be on them for much longer, I don't think. It's just going to be, yeah, trying to guess the call. I'm tempted to come in pretty soon. Oh, we've got yellow flags out. Someone at the front squad issues. No!
Keep it up.
No!
About 10 more minutes of rain.
Jeff, bigger things to worry about at the moment. Max Verstappen seems to be falling out then of this Portuguese Grand Prix from the lead, and our teammate has had no luck at the start of this year. Max Verstappen out here in Portugal. That is a heartbreaking way to end, as we've got a virtual safety car out as well. Verstappen not really in the firing line there, but I mean, if someone ran over a curb, maybe, just maybe, it could cause some serious issues.
Car has just been deployed due to a build-up of stopped cars on the track. Watch your pace.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to have to try and make the transfer over to the Inters sooner rather than later. But I cannot believe Verstappen
is too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
Oh, Jeff, we get the picture, mate. Max Verstappen out of the Portuguese Grand Prix there. That is heartbreaking for our teammate and not good for our Constructors' Championship either, when Red Bull are looking super strong. Right, by the time the VSC's coming back in again, we're all over the back of Jack Aitken now, and a battle for what has become P14 then in this Portuguese Grand Prix. Can we get a run out of the final corner there? A little bit of snap oversteer on the way in. We should have much better top-end speed than a lot of these cars still. Actually, look at that from Jack Aitken. Get a really nice tidy run.
Remember, we need to get to the end of the race on these tyres.
A Schwartzman's box, so is he now trying to be the brave one to move on to intermediate series? We actually get a warning for track limits. That's not going to stop us though, from sending it up the inside of Jack Aitken. They're a little bit of a lock-up at the apex. We have to force them out a bit wide, but we're now through what I like to call the back markers here, which is both Alpines, Haas, and Alphas and Williams.
Seconds.
That is not the line at the bottom of the hill, though. We are all over the show. That's another warning.
Other teams are fitting intermediate tyres. It might be worth considering changing yours too.
Oh, where are we going at the top of the hill? We're definitely going to have to make the call onto
Strategy is
Inters.
available on the MFD.
And that's exactly what the team are recommending there, as even Jack Aitken tried to have a look back at the inside. Again tries to have a look back at the inside there, but we are, looks like, just about going to be able to hold him off. Let's get this thing onto a set of intermediates. I wish I'd boxed at the end of last lap, to be honest, because we have been all over the show on this one. But yeah, rounding the final couple of corners though, are we going to see a lot of cars in front of us? Looks like a Ferrari's stayed out. Into the pits we come. Make sure we get it slowed down nice and tidy there. May as well scrub off those front tyres as best as possible. But a lot of cars having to double stack as well. So look at this, things like McLaren both getting caught out there, so we might gain a few spots from all of this as well, as we're going to hold up a couple of other cars there. So there's definitely the opportunity to try and gain some places here, as we've got the last box in the lane. 3.1 seconds. We come out right behind Valtteri Bottas, though, in the Grand Prix. A couple of seconds ahead of Jack Aitken.
Now, let's get some heat into those tyres.
So that was a pretty good stop, as we immediately lock up down towards T1.
Okay, the gap behind is 2.4 seconds.
And in more things I never expected to see in a Formula 1 race there, Robert Schwartzman in a Haas sets a new fastest lap there. I don't think that's pretty much as many. If he got that bonus point for that, that would be, I think, 1/3 of all the points Haas have scored in this entire series. They've scored 2 points, I think, back in Mexico Season 2, I want to say. Yeah, I mean, he's not going to get the bonus point because people are going to go faster. And, of course, he's not in the top 10 either, so a bit of an irrelevant stat for you. So there we go. That immediately goes up as we got yellow flags out again. Who's now got issues? I think it might be Lance Stroll in this Grand Prix.
We think it's going to dry up. 10 minutes.
So, team now saying it's going to dry up as well, though, but two big names already out of this Portuguese Grand Prix there, and it is Lance Stroll, the only man who seems to be between the Red Bulls there, out of the Grand Prix. We've got another VSC.
Car is being deployed due to an incident with multiple vehicles being stopped on the track. We need you to drop your pace.
So it's all going on then early on here, but I'm trying to work out who on earth is up in P3. Is that an Alpine that hasn't boxed yet? Oh no, it must be Antonio Giovinazzi, who always seems to be rapid for some reason now. But yeah, another VSC out here in Portimao after another mechanical failure. And again, because of some pretty good VSC timing, we've actually ended up getting all over the back of Bottas when that VSC has come in. Are we going to be able to get a run on the McLaren out of the final corner? We desperately need for it to dry out there. You can see we just haven't quite got the confidence that the AI do. You know, when the cars get faster, the AI just becomes superhuman.
Is catching you by 0.5 a lap. 0.5.
I mean, Formula 1 drivers are pretty much superhuman anyway, but they sort of find a whole new level on F1 2021. There is all a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact with Bottas to try and keep the nose up the inside there, and I think the Finn Going to see a bit more 2021 style Bottas. They're kind of jumping out of the way rather than the new and improved 2022 version of the Finn. But up now into 12th we go. Points are right there.
It's drying, but it's going to take a while to clear the standing water off the line. Don't start thinking about slicks just yet.
Oh, Lando Norris a little bit slow down into the hairpin. We'll say thank you very much, and a similar move to what we did to Bottas. Just one lap ago then, now up into P11 of the Grand Prix. I was honestly expecting to have to try and make some dives into the hairpin, but so far, yeah, it seems to be around the outside of other cars, a bit like Verstappen in Brazil 16. Speaking of dives up the inside into the hairpin, here we go, Esteban Ocon. I mean, it was aggressive, but he probably should have spotted me in his mirrors there. I think there was a tiny bit of contact, but I think we both got away with it. As yeah, Ocon, I'm sure, probably not happy with that one, but wasn't the worst move I think I pulled off on F1 2021. And like I said, he should have probably spotted me in the mirrors. He certainly hadn't committed to the apex yet. Up into P10 we go. Up into the points. Next up, shows how good Alpine are now. Mazepin 9th. Trying to look around the outside at the final couple of corners. Mazepin defends from the first attack. But are we going to be able to get a run out of the final corner there? Tried to late apex it, but just never really got near the apex in the end, as we should be able to gain as we head back up towards turn 1. Are we going to be able to make a move on Nikita Mazepin back in towards the first corner here? We are going to be side by side with the Russian. Brake just that little bit later, just about to get it slowed down. And now we're up, yeah, into P9 then of this Portuguese Grand Prix. So making pretty good progress, and you consider we're not even halfway through yet. But now we've got 7 seconds up to Daniel Ricciardo. Just going to have to keep our head down and focus, but the intermediate conditions seem to be suiting me far better than the full wets ever did.
Okay, looks like some of those puddles are clearing. We're still on the right tyre for the time being, but we're not a million miles away from slick conditions.
Yep, so Team Sam are not going to be far away from some dry tyres. Don't really know which tyres to go on to. I'm trying to remember the strat here around this circuit. I think it'll probably likely be a set of mediums that should see us through to the end, but I don't quite know just yet. Capture Ricciardo is slowly going the right way, but not by much. Oh.
Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
Well, I wish they had enabled it this early at Imola at the weekend, but DRS has now been re-enabled, so that would scream to me now is the time to make the switch onto a set of dry compound tyres there. George Russell stays out for another lap, though.
A new strategy is available on the MFD.
There we go, heading out the final corner. New strategy available on the MFD. Team are suggesting, though, double soft, so we might be trying to go one stop less than a lot of the AI here. We're going to be going on to a set of mediums to see us through to the end of the afternoon. Yeah, look at that, they're all on softs. So they're all going to have to box again then, so this is going to be an interesting race towards the checkered flag here. Can this car do 16 laps, half a race on a set of mediums? Surely it can. Just a case of how worn out will they get pretty early on. 2.1, that's what I need. There's a pit stop there as Luca Giotto is going to get in the way of Daniel Ricciardo as well.
The white line on the exit will receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
We're just going to have to be really careful on these tyres the first couple of laps. Get them into a heat cycle, but don't overheat them and therefore cost us performance throughout the rest of the stint. Head down, focus. Struggling a little bit to try and get temperature into these tyres on this first lap there, but Luca Giotto on a set of the Inters, yeah, was definitely losing a whole host of time. But yeah, now it's just really a question.
1 seconds.
Now it's really a question of seeing, of course, how much time the AI are going to lose by making another stop, and how much time will we lose to Ricciardo and Sainz in comparison to that, because that whole gaggle of cars might be ones we battle with towards the end, and that could be the key to leapfrog us up the order a bit more. 15 laps to go.
In front is 8.7 seconds.
Well, everyone around us setting new fastest laps of the Grand Prix as we head on to lap 19. Even Mazepin
is lapping faster than us by around 1 second per lap.
Oh, please don't say we're going to be under pressure from Nikita Mazepin there, as we got very, very lucky not to pick up a warning through turn 1. Just completely misjudged how much speed I'd need there. I think I was in the wrong gear, to be honest. But yeah, of course, all these guys able to fire up those soft compound tyres so quickly, and then still on a slightly slippery circuit. They got so much extra grip over me on the mediums, but yeah, we need to try and keep Mazepin at bay. I think we should just about have enough to do so. I mean, that group of cars are looking mighty fast just in front of us. That was a high 15s by a lot of them. We are going to do a 16.5. As Lando Norris, it's a 15.5 there. So there are a lot of quick cars on the circuit at the moment. But yeah, we just need to try and defend from Mazepin. There we go, 15.7. Gap to the cars behind isn't really going down anymore. Gap to the cars in front isn't really going up by much either. It's really tipping it through turn 1 now. Yeah, I think we're pretty much now up to pace and should be able to keep Mazepin at arm's length.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option. Okay, copy that.
Team's still adamant they want us to pit again before the end, but the only way this strategy is going to work is if we get out in front of cars and then really just park it. I'm hoping, a podium might still be doable here because Gio is not far up the road. Probably about 13 seconds, so even if when they do pit, we should get a little bit of free real estate as well to sort of settle into. George Russell's just gone even faster, but it's nice to actually see the sun shining here at Portimao as well. It's been a pretty miserable, dark, damp weekend on our return to this series, but yeah, now the sun's finally shining. Track's getting warmer, so pace is definitely still getting quicker. When are we going to see the other cars into the pit? So I think it's going to be about lap 24, lap 25.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs.
Oh, purple through the final sector. Now we're starting to get the sort of lap times we can really be doing with there. Almost went fastest. I mean, we won't be in the question for fastest lap bonus point today, because of course everyone else is going to go on to another set of softs. But yeah, now these tyres are really starting to rubber in nicely and work.
We want to pit this lap, so push now.
Right, so this is when the team wanted everyone into the pits. Mazepin has dived it in as well, so I think now we're going to start seeing more cars boxing. Oh, there we go. Tsunoda into the box. Zhou Guanyu into the pits as well. There's one other car. Looks like Giovinazzi at the front of this group has pitted as well. Giovinazzi might actually be the key for me here. And we're going to be way in front of those cars. So 7-8 laps to go here. We've got Lando Norris now trying to... Well, he thought about having to look up the inside in towards turn 1. Of course, he can't box because, yeah, Zhou Guanyu is having a fantastic day out of it so far. Nestled up nice and tidily inside the top 10. But, yeah, yeah, look at that. We've got 10 seconds over Gio. We might actually come out ahead of Perez in this Grand Prix. He's still running up in P2 at the moment. We could be battling still for P2 at the end of this. Round in the final corner then of lap 26 this time around. Sainz and Ricciardo into the boxes. There goes Lando Norris pitting in as well. So, oh no, there we go. So a couple of them are on mediums then. So that might be why Leclerc and Perez weren't gaining as much time. So I might have got a little bit optimistic there with the P2. But, I mean, still 4th place. When you remember we started right at the back, that would be a very good result here. 7 laps to go. Giovinazzi, 8.6 behind us, so about 1.2 a lap is what he needs.
Ahead is 14.6 seconds.
As Schwartzman and now Nikita Mazepin have at some point or another set fastest lap in this race. How insane has this race from Portugal been? There we go. Tsunoda now dips into the 14s there as Giovinazzi.
Second a lap to the car behind, 1 second.
Giovinazzi, this could actually get very, very close to him now at the end of the Grand Prix. He's pretty much taken out the perfect amount of time he needed to. About to start lap 30 then. The gap to Gio down to just 5.8, 5.7. It's coming down so quickly to the Italian in his Alpine. Giovinazzi has been absolutely mighty so far in this final season, but it's all come a little bit too little too late for him, to be honest, because apart from this season, he's never really shown any sign of excellence in all his years at Alfa Romeo. It's, yeah, been really, really strange, but at the moment, we're just about, I think, doing enough to try and keep him at bay. But George Russell looks like he, unless something goes catastrophically wrong late on in the afternoon, not only will deliver Red Bull's second race victory in a row, but he looks like he might be able to finally take his first ever and long anticipated Formula 1 victory. Well, about to start the final lap then here from Portimao, and what a weird little race this has turned out to be. Big mechanical failures
Final lap of the race.
for our teammate Max Verstappen and Lance Stroll, but yeah, weirdly for me, it doesn't feel like we've made enough places to end up P4 here. Just a mixture of sort of overtaking all the slower cars early on, and then really just out-strategizing a lot of the cars that we might have struggled to close up the gap to as well as we have. But yeah, I'm pretty certain it was Yuki Tsunoda a couple of seasons ago who won his first ever Formula 1 race at his new team Mercedes. back here. I think, yeah, it must have been Season 5, I want to say. Season 4 of this career mode, it might even have been. But as we round the final few corners, George Russell, it's not going to be a win for Mercedes, it's going to be a win for Red Bull, and his first ever in Formula 1 there. I'm sure one that we all were expecting to see far sooner than it's taken in this My Team career mode there. Perez maintains his good momentum and is going to come through for P2 there. That should mean that Red Bull not only take the lead of the Constructors' Championship, but George Russell will now lead the Drivers' title as well. Ferrari with Charles Leclerc get another podium on the board. Sainz got one at Imola last time out, and Charles Leclerc is going to pick up P3 this weekend. But as we round the final corners, it's last on the grid to P4 in the end. That was a pretty good job done, if I say so myself.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
They take the checkered flag then here in Portimao in what has been another outstanding Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team. George Russell takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I have to give it to Mr. Monaco. They demonstrated a very delicate touch in close proximity to other cars, as well as showing a lot of maturity and patience in difficult situations.
It's time to check out the Constructors' standings. Red Bull take over as championship leaders. Meanwhile, Alpine move up the table with another strong performance this weekend. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula 1.
Well, there we are then, guys. George Russell takes home the dub here in Portugal in his first ever Formula 1 race victory there with a fantastic two-stop strategy. Clear in front in the end after Max Verstappen's unfortunate demise early on in the afternoon there. Sergio Perez picked up the spoils from Verstappen and Stroll's failures to make it a Red Bull 1-2 with Charles Leclerc third. And yeah, from the back of the grid, we come through for P4 there. Giovinazzi, another fantastic race by him to finish fifth ahead of Zhou Guanyu, one of his best results this series, in sixth place there. Tsunoda, Sainz, Ricciardo and Lando Norris round out the top 10 there with Nikita Mazepin in the second. Alpine just missing out, and then you can see the rest of your race runners there right down towards the rear of the field. Yeah, just the Merc and the 2-2 Motorsport car that didn't see the checkered flag there. Drivers' Championship-wise, though, does mean, like I said, George Russell takes the lead, but still only 2 points between us as we head into round 5 of the year there. Perez up at a P3, 1 point ahead of Charles Leclerc, and then Tsunoda now 1 point ahead of Max Verstappen. Stroll 1 point ahead of Sainz as well, so it is all still to play for, with a lot of cars there very, very close. I mean, arguably, yeah, it's the first car that isn't massively in a tight battle. It's probably Zhou Guanyu, and even then he's only 2 points behind his teammate Lando Norris. Constructors-wise, though, yeah, Red Bull take the lead there as well. 21 points clear of ourselves there. Alpine and AlphaTauri both jump Aston Martin with that result as well there. I mean, Alpine could really rival McLaren later on in the campaign as well. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do make sure you leave a like and get yourself subscribed. Like I said, trying to now aim for 50k before F1 2022 does launch in just a couple of months' time there. But thank you all so much for watching, and we'll be back very, very soon with more Formula 1 content. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.